male. I'm not sure how I should introduce myself. I'm Brandon. Yeah. There's a lot of things about me. I'm a complex individual. Just like most people are complex. My parents were very strict, very conservative. My father and my mother had been traveling evangelists. So it's very Christian, fundamentalist Christian upbringing. Wasn't allowed to listen to non-Christian music. So my grandpa Butterfly, who I get my Native American ancestry from, he was a very devout Christian too, and he believed that the Indian ways were wrong. But when he was a child, he was forcibly taken from his family and forced to go to this Catholic boarding school where they'd beat him for speaking his language, for doing anything that had to do with his culture, shaved his head and just everything. I can't help but think, man, you got brainwashed. I mean, everything that you passed on to my mom and me, that just sounds like that spouting that was poured into your head. My ethnocentrism is based from a Western stance because that's what I was raised in. That's the culture that I belong to. As much as I want to be part of my Native American culture, it feels impossible because it's just so far gone.
There we go.
Happy Halloween! I'm good, how are you? Good. It's a little bit warm down here, just a little bit. Especially in a nun outfit. I mean, you sweating?
There's a point in my teenage years where I did have non-Christian music. My dad found it and he burned them in the fire. It's like, these are bad, which just made me want them more. Everything was peachy and pretty up until a friend of mine named Jessica. She had been my childhood friend and everything. My parents came into my room one night and told me that she had died. That she had she died of a brain aneurysm. So she complained about a headache and then just dropped dead. And that really messed with my head because I was like, I could drop dead at any minute. And I had been a straight A student in school and then just fail. Because I was like, what the hell am I doing in this room? I could drop dead at any minute. Why am I in this room? Why am I forced to be in this room? That was when I actually started really thinking oh, what is it that I believe? That started a huge existential journey. From 12, is what is this all about? What is actually worth spending time on? I just went down this rabbit hole of studying every religion that I could, every philosophy that I could get my hands on, and became very withdrawn and I became really depressed several times because it was just this is ridiculous. That's when I started writing poetry. That's when I started writing music. Just trying to come to grips with reality through an artistic medium, which I think maybe that's why all people get into art. I don't know why other people do it, but that's why I did it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna do the speed up when you do the drums,
And
then,
yeah, I can just break the pattern.
Yeah, we can just
Just say fuck.
We can just cut off the guitar and you can just do it in your
Just
head.
say fuck.
Just say fuck.
Just turn everything off. It'll speed up at the end. Is that right?
Yeah.
The same at the end there.
Just take where you want to do that and just highlight it and erase it. Delete from here on.
Okay. Whoa, where's the mouse, man? Where is it? Oh, there it is. As a musician, I realized, well, any artist, when they make art, they're inspired. And I remember I went a whole year of where I couldn't write anything. And it was actually, I wrote a song about it, about how I couldn't write, and then for a year I couldn't write until I wrote a song about how I could, and then I could write. And I was like, what is going on there? I mean, the obvious explanation is that it's psychological. It's all in your head. And, well, okay, maybe so. But at the same time, why is that so powerful? Why did that influence me in such a way? And where do all these ideas for art come from? And I just took the idea that it's a muse and ran with it. I said, let's take it. Why not? Eventually just simplified everything and came up with this story that, like, to me, it explains everything. Well, not everything, but it explains. It's a creation story, and it says it's the creation of the world, but I don't really think that matters. I think it's a creation story that happens all the time, and that before everything, there was nothing but the muse. And actually, she wasn't even anything. She was just the potential of something. She was like the mathematical zero. The circumference with no edge, as it were. But then she looked to her own heart and saw the point, the mathematical point, who was the artist who was seated upon a cube. And she fell in love with him. And he could feel her love. And he loved her, but he couldn't reach her because she was nowhere. She was everywhere and nowhere. She was nothing. And so as a means to try to express his love, he decided to sing and to paint and to dance. And the first word that he sang was what the Hindus call Om. It was the first sound. And Om itself contains the beginning, the middle, and the end. You can, everything. But he made this painting, and it wasn't enough, and so he just kept dancing, and the painting looked upon him and saw him dancing and couldn't help but dance itself. And so we are the dancing painting of creation. All art, everything is divine because the most divine principle in the universe, in my opinion, has inspired it. Nothing could exist or be created or come into existence without that. So yes, the Bible is divine. It's inspired. So is the Quran. So is all these other things, and all of them contain a glimpse of truth. Just a glimpse. Everything that you do in life is holy. It's sacred if you realize that it is. And you should, because then you're there. Then you're living it instead of just wasting time.
That was so good. That made me want to cry.